Howdy, y'all. I'm actually going to take a video of me feeding my snake. So Percy's out and about, and he's hungry. He hasn't been fed in a week. I have the mouse. It's all wet because I defrost them in the fridge, and then I warm them up with some hot water. Just he prefers his food to be warm. Other people will do just room temperature for their snacks. But let's just take this poor thing out. Don't mind me just moving my camera every which way. There's the mouse. And he's already focusing on it pretty hard. He can smell it. Just get his attention. And he's grabbed it. And he is strangling it. So, rat snakes are constrictors. Not many people know that. And they will squeeze their prey. Let me just close this so he doesn't feel threatened by me. And he's probably going to actually hold on to that for a hot second just because he is squeezing it. He has to kill it. Obviously, I used a pre-killed mouse. And he's going to kind of move his little jaw around. Kind of figure out the best angle of attack. I hold the tail to feed him because snakes, it's easier for them to consume their prey head first. That's just because of the way the limbs go and everything. And he is just going to unhinge, so to speak, his jaw. He's just going to walk his mouth down. And actually, snakes, they don't necessarily unhinge their jaws as you would think. Their lower jaw is split into two sections that can move independently. So what he's actually doing is he has opened his mouth really wide, and he is walking that lower jaw down so that he can swallow his prey whole. And as you can see, he's not having any trouble with it at all. That is a small size mouse, so it's about the size of your thumb if you were to compare it, which is a good size for him right now with the size he's at. He's about 2.5 foot, 3 foot long. He is a little under a year old, and he's growing pretty fast. Now, the reason I feed him in his cage is he has a lot of substrate, and typically you don't want to feed reptiles on their substrate because they can get an impaction. However, transferring him to a tub was incredibly stressful, and I made sure to scatter down some, as you can kind of see, some mulch, so that if there is a stray piece, it's not going to be a whole bunch of stray pieces. He also does a pretty good job of swallowing his prey whole without getting anything on it. He grabs it and he eats it. So, as you can see, he has about half of it now. He's got the front hands in there. Let me zoom in a little bit. Get a good look at that face. He's watching me. I don't usually record him. And he is just going to town. He is having no trouble with that sized mouse at all. But it does take him a couple minutes to actually get it down into his gullet. Get him eating that. And you can kind of see that lower jaw action where he's walking his jaw to kind of get it in his mouth. He's not happy with me watching him. Let me get down here, get a better view. And he's almost completely swallowed it. His throat is actually kind of long, so it'll reach his stomach. He's going to swallow it. He's going to kind of use his muscles. He's very muscular. He's going to use those muscles. He's going to push it down into his stomach. As you can see, he's still working on the tail. Looks like his little tongue is sticking out. And you can actually see that mouse in his throat. I'm going to move back a little bit. I'm going to actually kneel back and zoom in because he's eyeballing me. Now, the reason I'm kind of moving away, he's not a skittish, well, he's not the most skittish snake I've dealt with, but if snakes do feel threatened, they'll do something, they'll throw up their prey if they've just eaten, because it does take a lot of energy to consume that amount of calories. And it weighs them down. So a lot like vultures, if you know about vultures, they'll actually regurgitate their food if they're feeling threatened so that they can get away faster. And you don't want a snake to regurgitate because they'll regurgitate all that beautiful gut flora. And that's actually a vet visit in order to get them back where they need to be. As you can see, he swallowed it now in its entirety. And he's using those muscles. You can see him contracting, just pushing that mouse down into his stomach. And now that he's eaten, he's probably going to go take a nap. You can see that bulge of that whole mouse in his stomach. He says, "Thank you for the meal, Dad." And he's probably going to poke around for a little bit before he actually takes a break to digest, which he will do up there. It's his little, his heat lamp, because in order, oh yeah, he's mad at me. He's wiggling his tail. In order to digest his food, he does need that heat, but he's getting mad at me. He's wiggling his tail, which they will wiggle their tails like a rattlesnake when they're feeling threatened. So I'm going to sign off. That was Percy eating his meal for the week. Hope it was fun to watch.